It was my second semester at college when the knocking started. I was 19 years old, living in a dorm building on the edge of campus that everybody hated. Years earlier, the building had been an old hospital before the university bought it and renovated it into student housing. The place always felt wrong at night. Long, narrow hallways, flickering lights, and this strange smell that drifted through the building after midnight, like wet concrete mixed with dust. Most students joked that the building was haunted, but nobody actually believed it. At least, I didn't. My roommate Tyler and I used to laugh about the rumors during our first few weeks there. Tyler was loud, outgoing, the kind of guy who could make friends with anyone instantly. I was the opposite. I mostly kept to myself, especially at night. Then one Thursday, around 2 a.m, I woke up to a strange sound. At first, I thought someone was tapping on the pipes inside the walls, but after a few seconds, I realized it was coming from our dorm room door. 3 slow knocks. Knock, knock, knock. I checked my phone. 2:13 a.m. Tyler was still asleep in the bed across from mine. I waited a few seconds, expecting whoever it was to knock again or say something, but the hallway outside stayed completely silent. Finally, I got out of bed and looked through the peephole. Nobody was there. I figured it was probably just some drunk students messing around, so eventually I went back to sleep. But the next night, it happened again. Same exact time. 3 knocks. Knock, knock, knock. This time, Tyler woke up too. Half asleep, he yelled, "Go away!" toward the door, before rolling back over in bed. The next morning, we both laughed about it, but later that night, I heard something worse. Whispering. Very faint whispering coming from outside the room. I froze in bed, listening carefully while Tyler slept. The whispering sounded low and wet, like someone talking with water in their throat. Then came the knocking again, 3 slow knocks. I got up carefully and looked through the peephole again. Nobody. But this time, I noticed something strange. The carpet outside our dorm looked wet, like somebody had walked through the hallway wearing soaked shoes. I slowly opened the door and looked down. Bare footprints covered the hallway floor. Human footprints. Wet footprints, leading away from our door toward the stairwell. My stomach tightened immediately. I shut the door and locked it again. The next morning, the footprints were gone. I told Tyler about them and he laughed at first until he realized I wasn't joking. That same day, we asked other people on our floor if they heard the knocking too. Everybody said no. Most of them looked confused when we mentioned it. One guy joked that maybe the ghost of the old hospital was checking rooms at night. I laughed with everybody else, but something about it bothered me more than I wanted to admit. That night, Tyler went to a party, while I stayed behind studying for exams. Around midnight, the building became unusually quiet. No voices in the hallways, no doors slamming, nothing. At exactly 2:13 a.m., the knocking returned. Only this time, it wasn't coming from the door. It came from the closet beside my bed. 3 knocks from inside the closet. I stared at the door without moving. Then, slowly, the handle started turning on its own. My entire body locked up. The closet door creaked open a few inches before stopping. Darkness filled the gap inside. Then I heard breathing. Slow, wet breathing coming from inside the closet. I grabbed my phone flashlight and pointed it toward the opening. The breathing stopped immediately. The closet looked normal, clothes hanging, shoes underneath, nothing else. I almost convinced myself I imagined it until my phone buzzed in my hand. A text from Tyler. "Bro, why are you standing in the hallway?" My blood went cold instantly. Because I wasn't in the hallway. I was still inside the room, staring at the closet. Before I could answer, another text appeared. "I just saw somebody standing outside our door." Then another message. "I thought it was you." At that exact moment, 3 knocks hit the dorm room door behind me. Knock, knock, knock. I nearly dropped my phone. Then came whispering from the other side of the door. "Open up." It sounded exactly like Tyler's voice. I backed away, slowly. My real Tyler started calling me immediately. I answered while staring at the door. "Don't open it," he whispered frantically. "I'm downstairs." I felt my chest tighten so hard it hurt. The knocking grew louder. "Please," the voice outside whispered. "I'm cold." Something about the way it said that made every hair on my body stand up. The voice sounded wrong, too calm, too practiced. Then the doorknob started rattling violently. I ran across the room and shoved my desk against the door while the whispering outside became angry and distorted. It sounded like multiple voices talking over each other. Then suddenly, the rattling stopped. Complete silence. A few minutes later, Tyler finally returned with campus security, and when they opened the hallway door, they found water everywhere outside our dorm. Wet footprints covered the carpet, leading toward the stairwell again. One of the security guards looked genuinely uncomfortable after seeing them. He quietly asked how long the knocking had been happening. When we told him almost a week, his expression changed immediately. He told us not to open the door if it happened again, then refused to explain any further. The next day, Tyler and I searched online for information about the dorm building. That's when we found old newspaper articles about the hospital that used to stand there. Apparently, decades earlier, several patients disappeared during a flood that damaged the lower floors of the building. One article mentioned nurses hearing knocking sounds from empty rooms at night after the floodwaters drained. Another mentioned a patient who drowned after becoming trapped in a flooded stairwell during a power outage. After reading all that, neither of us wanted to stay there anymore. But moving dorms in the middle of the semester wasn't easy, so we tried ignoring everything, pretending none of it was happening. That lasted 3 nights. Then Tyler woke me up screaming around 2 a.m. I jumped out of bed and turned the lamp on. Tyler was sitting upright, pointing toward the corner of the room beside the closet. "There was somebody standing there," he whispered. "I swear to God, there was somebody standing there watching us." Before I could answer, 3 knocks came from underneath Tyler's bed. Both of us froze instantly. Knock, knock, knock. Tyler jumped off the bed so fast he fell onto the floor. Then, slowly, something started sliding out from beneath his bed. At first I thought it was water, dark water spreading across the floor. But then I realized it was a hand. Pale gray fingers slowly crawling across the carpet toward us. Tyler screamed and ran for the door, while I stood frozen in place staring at the thing beneath the bed. Another hand appeared, then part of a face. Sunken black eyes, pale skin dripping wet. The thing smiled at me. Then the room lights shut off instantly.
complete darkness swallowed the dorm. Tyler was screaming somewhere near the hallway while I backed against the wall, unable to breathe. Then I heard movement beside me. Wet footsteps slowly crossing the room. Closer, closer. A voice whispered directly beside my ear. "You left the door open." I ran. I don't even remember reaching the hallway. Tyler and I sprinted downstairs barefoot while alarms blared somewhere inside the building. We stayed outside until police arrived. But when they searched our room, nothing was there. No water, no footprints, nothing under the bed. Everybody treated us like we were drunk or hallucinating. But before leaving, one police officer pulled us aside quietly. He asked what time the knocking started every night. When we told him 2:13, his face went pale. Apparently, years earlier, another student reported the exact same thing before disappearing from that same dorm room. They never found him. Tyler moved out the next day. I tried staying another week, but the knocking continued every single night. Sometimes from the door, sometimes from inside the walls, sometimes directly beneath my bed. I stopped sleeping completely. Then one night, I woke up at exactly 2:13 and found my closet door wide open. Someone was standing inside. Tall, motionless, wet water dripping onto the floor beneath them. I couldn't see their face clearly in the darkness, but I recognized the voice immediately when it whispered, "You should have opened the door." The next morning, I withdrew from the university and left campus permanently. That was 4 years ago, and I still think about that dorm almost every night. Because every once in a while, around 2:13 in the morning, I still hear 3 slow knocks somewhere inside my apartment. And no matter where I move, the wet footprints always come back.